everybody. Today at Storytime with Eveline, we will be reading one of my favorite books, The Berenstain Bears and Too Much Vacation by Stan and Jan Berenstain. The Berenstain Bears and Too Much Vacation. I wonder what's going to happen. Well, that's everything, said Mama Bear as she and Sister and Brother Bear held the cart trunk lid so that Papa Bear could tie it down. Not quite, said Papa, running back into the treehouse. We almost forgot the camera, he said when he reappeared. What good is a wonderful vacation without photographs to remember it by? Good thinking, Papa, said Brother. May I take some pictures when we get there? And how about me? Sister wanted to know. Of course you may, said Papa, as they bundled into the car. We're all going to take pictures of the most wonderful vacation the Bear family has ever had. All right, now everybody buckle up and we'll be on our way. 4 safety belts clicked into place and they left their safe, comfortable treehouse and headed for the excitement and adventure of a vacation high up in the wilds of the Great Grizzly Mountains. It had been Papa's idea to take vacation in the Grizzlies. It will be a real wilderness experience. We'll live off the land. With all of our supermarkets and other conveniences, we're getting too soft here in the valley. When he saw the ad in the newspaper, there was no holding him. It said, try a wilderness vacation. A lovely mountain cabin complete with a rowboat by beautiful Crystal Lake. Ah, said Papa, painting beautiful word pictures. To wake with the rising sun and catch our breakfast from a clear mountain lake. To bathe in sparkling water. To snack on delicious wild berries as we tramp the mountain trails. To gaze at the beauty of a mountain sunset. Then to sleep through the peace and quiet of a mountain night far from the noise of traffic and neighbors' barking dogs. It all sounded great to the cubs. What kind of fish will we catch, Papa? Said Brother. Trout, no doubt, he answered with supreme confidence. But Mama wasn't so sure he would catch anything. So when she packed, she took along some canned goods in case the trout wasn't biting and some books and games in case of a rainy day. I can almost taste that fresh-caught trout, said Brother as the road led even higher into the mountain forest. And I can almost taste those yummy wild berries, said Sister. And don't forget my terrific wilderness stew, said Papa as he turned into an even steeper road. But we didn't bring things for stew, objected Mom. All we brought are some canned goods. Of course we didn't, laughed Papa. I'm talking about my special live-off-the-land survival stew. It's my secret recipe. I make it from bark, leaves, and roots that I find in the woods. Do you think that sounds tasty? If you could make a stew, what would the ingredients be? When will we get there? Asked the cubs. Very soon. I can tell by the smell of that mountain air, said Papa, taking a deep breath. That's not mountain air, complained Brother, making a face. That's skunk! Said Papa, wrinkling his nose. A good time to start taking those pictures, thought Mama. Said Papa. Click, said the camera. There's the cabin, shouted Sister as they rounded a bend. There it was indeed, a mountain cabin beside the lake complete with a rowboat. Uh-oh, does that look nice? Do you think they're going to enjoy their vacation? Of course, it wasn't quite as they pictured in the ad. Crystal Lake looked more like mud soup, and the lovely mountain cabin looked more like a tumble-down shack. There was a rowboat, all right, but it was half sunk into the lake. Uh-oh, that's not good at all. But Papa wasn't the least bit discouraged. He was more excited than ever. It's perfect, he shouted. The most perfect live-off-the-land vacation spot I've ever seen. Mama wasn't so sure. She noticed there were no wires leading into the cabin, which meant there was no electricity. That's the last thing we need, scoffed Papa. "What you need on a live-off-the-land vacation is plenty of can-do spirit and lots of force smarts, and I've got enough of those for all of us." He took a cooking pot and a folding chair from the car trunk. "Here," he said, making a seat for Mama. "This is a vacation. You relax while I gather the fixings for my fabulous wilderness stew. And you two, tidy up the cabin," he called to the cubs as he headed into the forest with a big cooking pot. But Mama didn't expect to do much relaxing on this vacation, and she wasn't surprised to find that the cabin was an even worse mess than it was outside. Look at that! It's covered in leaves and twigs and spider webs and mice. There was an ankle-deep carpet of twigs, branches, and dead leaves on the floor, and it was practically a museum of spider webs, cocoons, and mouse nests. "Time for another picture," thought Mama. Scurry, scurry went the mice. Click went the camera. "What's this?" asked Sister as she cleaned leaves out of the sink. "What do you think that is?" That's a hand pump for water," answered Mama. "Interesting. That is how people used to pump water. You see that long stick? Well, they would move that up and down, and water would come out. Now we just use faucets, but that's how they used to do it. I wonder if it works." "Just what I need," said Papa. He came back with his cooking pot full of strange-looking bark, leaves, and roots. He worked on the handle. See, Papa is moving the handle. Up, down, up, down, up, down. The pump gargled and squeaked, and after a while, it began to squirt water. Uh-oh, does that look like clean water? It was rusty brown water. But Papa wasn't the least bit discouraged. "Just what I need for my stew," he said. "Ready-made gravy." He carried the pot outside where he had prepared a cooking fire. It was very exciting for the cubs, but Mama wasn't so sure. So she made a fire in the fireplace. See, there's a fire. And she warmed up a supper of canned beans and some dried honeycomb. Can't wait to see what Papa's stew is like. When Papa cried stew time, the cubs ran out for the first taste. Mama followed with the camera. "Here's the living off the land," said Papa, holding up a big spoon of the strange-looking stuff. Then he, brother, and sister each took a taste. "Ugh," said sister. "Ugh," said brother. "Patooey," said Papa. "Click," said the camera. Mama Bear's supper of beans and dried honeycomb proved very tasty. Papa Bear stretched and yawned. What do you think Papa is feeling? Do you think he is tired? "Now, I'll lay to bed so I can get up with the sun and catch our breakfast." Rustle, rustle. The sun did rise, and it was very beautiful, but Papa snored right through it. The frogs and the crickets and the owls made such a racket during the night that I hadn't fallen asleep until just before the rising sun lit the sky. Oh, look how pretty that is. See, there's some trees, and there's the sun. There's some clouds. And there's Papa Bear just snoring right through it. Papa began to get a little discouraged when he went out to catch breakfast. The boat sank as soon as he stepped into it. See, his legs are underwater, and there's the boat. Lucky it wasn't too deep, or else he would have gone down. And all he caught was a gloppy mudsucker. Ew, do you want to eat that? I don't think anybody wants to. And he kept making snuffling noises and stared. Snuffle, snuffle, glop, said the mudsucker. Click, said the camera. Look at Papa. Do you think he's having a good time? I hope the vacation gets better. Uh-oh. It was Papa's turn to snap the pictures when Mama and the cubs tasted the wild berries. The thorns were something fierce, and the berries were so sour even the birds puckered. Ooh, look at the birds. And there's their mouth. They're showing that it was very sour. And there's Papa taking a picture, and there's some berries. Later Later, there was a perfectly beautiful sunset, but the bear family didn't get to see much of it. They're too busy spotting the swarms of mosquitoes that swooped in from the lake. "Live off the land, you say," shouted Mama as they headed for the cabin. "With all the thorns and the mosquitoes, it's more like the land is living off of us." I don't think they're having a very good time. Oh. It began to rain just as they reached the cabin, but the roof leaked badly, and pretty soon they had more leaks than they had pots and pans. They spent a miserable night. By morning, they were soaked to their fur, and there was a foot of water in the front stairwell. That's bad. See, they're all cold and shivering. They're still in their pajamas. "Don't worry," said Papa. "The rain can't last forever, and just as soon as they sweep out this water." But instead of Papa sweeping the water swept Papa out the door, down the muddy slope, and into the muddy, mucky lake. When Mama and the cubs reached him, he looked more like a mud ball than Papa Bear. Yeah. Ooh, look. It's almost like he's an ice cream sundae. See, there's some hot fudge coming down. See? He doesn't look very clean, does he? And there's Mama taking a picture. And then there's Brother. He looks a little surprised. "Say," he said, looking up at them, "I have a terrific idea. Let's go home." So the bear family loaded the trunk, put the car top on, bundled into the car, and splashed down the mountain into the driving rain. The rain had stopped, and the sun had come out by the time they reached the valley. That's nice. And their treehouse had never looked so good. See, there's the treehouse in Papa's workshop, and there's the road, and there's the car. See, they're almost home. The next day, Mama took the film to the camera store to be developed. When the pictures came back a few days later, the bear family wrote titles on them. They began to chuckle as they passed the pictures around. They chuckled, and soon the chuckles grew into roaring laughter, and soon they were laughing so hard they cried. Has that ever happened to you? Sometimes I laugh and it feels like I'm about to cry. Ooh, let's see the pictures. Papa smells the mountain air. We are greeted upon our arrival. We tasted Papa's wilderness stew. Ugh. Papa catches our breakfast. Our first taste of wild mountain berries. And Papa decides it's time to go home. And every so often, through the years, they take out those pictures and have an absolutely wonderful time enjoying the worst vacation the bear family had ever had. The end. Did you enjoy that book? If you do, please watch more of my videos, and I'll see you next time on Storytime with Eveline. Bye!